It's not just Russell. It was a poor offensive line. It might have been one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL. That's how bad it was. Payton continued his assessment on the Broncos organization, saying, quote, "It doesn't happen often where an NFL team or organization gets embarrassed. And that happened here. Part of it was their own fault, relative to spending so much expletive time trying to win the offseason. The PR, the pomp and circumstance, marching people around and all this stuff. We're not doing any of that. The Jets did that this year. You watch Hard Knocks, all of it. I can see it coming." Okay, a lot to unpack on this one. Stephen A., I want to start with the first part, his critique of his own team in Denver's 2022 season. Do you think what he's saying is fair?
I think it's very fair. I think it's very fair. That's number one. First of all, let's understand something. Sean Payton is one of the great coaches in the National Football League, okay? Let's get that out the way first. He's a Super Bowl champion. In 15 years in New Orleans, he won 63% of his games. 10 times he had winning seasons. One time he had an 8-8 record. Those 3 consecutive years when they went 7-9, remember, that was in the midst of, the whole Bounty Gate and all of that other stuff that had transpired as well. So let's not forget that. But at the end of the day, this man knows what he's doing, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. He knows what it takes to be the leader of an organization, and he knows when he's seeing something. I want to take this into consideration. I've been covering sports for decades. It is a rare moment, and please put RC and Harry up there because I want to see them both. It is a rare moment when you hear a coach say it was one of the worst coaching jobs we've ever seen about his predecessor. You do not hear that. That usually violates all type of rules. And now you can look at it as being classless. I don't look at it that way.
It is?
I look at it as, as an appropriate indictment against one of the most horrendous jobs we have ever seen. Ladies and gentlemen, no disrespect. I'm not saying that. I don't mind saying this because he is employed. He's getting a paycheck. He's not unemployed trying to get a job. So good. His name is Nathaniel Hackett. It was that awful. It was so awful.
Why you got to say Hackett like
damn
that?
it, I'm saying it. It was so awful. That man is lucky that he got a job right now, okay? And by the way, he got that job basically upon the reference of Aaron Rodgers. Now, he was in Denver last year. Guess where he's at right now? With the New York Jets as an offensive coordinator. So it's not an accident. You know it's bad, guys. This is my last comment. You know it's bad when not only does Sean Payton say that, but he brings up, look at the Jets now. He knows Nathaniel Hackett's there. He was bringing up Hard Knocks and all this other. He knows Nathaniel Hackett is there. You know what that is? That's a new coach that's ticked off that he has to deal with the stuff that he has to deal with. The residue, the stench of what's left behind. Now, he's going to overcome it, but that's what that's about. And Sean Payton is saying to the world, y'all have no idea what the hell I've had to deal with since taking this job. That's what he's saying. And that I believe that quote is directly directed at Nathaniel Hackett.
Wait. Hold on, Harry. Before you jump in here, I didn't think when he was talking about the PR battle and pomp and circumstance in the Jets, I didn't think he was talking about Nathaniel Hackett. I think he was talking about Russell Wilson coming over.
That too.
And now in the Jets parading Aaron Rodgers. I thought he was looking
Molly.
at the 2 quarterbacks, not
Molly, be clear. He's talking about Russell Wilson, too, because Russell Wilson had lost his damn mind, and now he's reeling him back in. Fair enough. But he brought up the Jets for a reason, because his predecessors at the New York Jets. Oh, he ain't playing. He's telling the world, y'all don't know what the hell I've had to deal with here. That's what he's saying. I don't care what nobody say.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely a fair assessment of his team. And I'm emphasizing his team for a reason, right? When you look at the Denver Broncos last year and that offensive line that was atrocious and led the league in sacks that they allowed, but now they brought in a Ben Powers and a Mike McGlinchey to try to, fair that up a little bit. You look at a Russell Wilson in which when they brought him over, man, they thought it was going to be all good and dandy. It wasn't. It was everything but that. And when you look at the rest of that offense, whether it's from Russell Wilson not living up to the hype or living up to his capabilities, wide receivers dropping footballs, wide receivers showing up their quarterbacks when they don't hit them on certain routes or whatnot, I think it was a complete disaster in Denver a season ago. But here's the problem I do have. I don't mind Sean Payton talking about his team. Don't bring no other organization into it, though, because you got to worry about the Denver Broncos. And you do have your work cut out. And I understand Nathaniel Hackett is in New York now, but focus on your unit and your guys and what you have to do.
Like, y'all not going to say it, and I'm going to say it. That's the comments of a very little man. And I'm not talking about little in stature. You Sean Payton. Everything that Stephen A. said about Sean Payton and who he was as the coach of the New Orleans Saints is absolutely true. A magnificent offensive mind, a head coach that won a Super Bowl and had his team competing and actually brought New Orleans back after Katrina.
Yes.
The way that Sean Payton is revered here, he don't have to say things like that. I'm not going to come on TV, right, and sit in this seat and feel like I got to talk about the last man that did this job. I'm not going to come here and critique what somebody else is doing on another network because I ain't got to do that because I stand on my own too. I don't have to set the precedent that everything that's happening here was so bad and so messed up that now I got to fix it. No, go do your job. You got Walmart money now. And now that you got Walmart money, that's your locker room. Go fix that. You don't need to go talk about what's going on in New York. And I don't think it's about Nathaniel Hackett. I think he worried about too dang much. You mentioned earlier in the show he did TV for a little bit, and now he's diving into that. You're not doing TV no more, right? And the way that it should work is Nathaniel Hackett should have a problem with this. And I get it, Nathaniel Hackett has to be professional, and Nathaniel Hackett has to own the debacle that the Denver Broncos were last year. But I'm just going to be straight up with you. Me and Sean Payton, we got to have a heart-to-heart. We got to have a face-to-face. I got to ask you why my name in your mouth, because it don't need to be. And Sean Payton has done enough where it doesn't need to be. Sean Payton has done enough where he can behave with class, where he can behave with respect. So I ain't going to come on here and laugh at a man acting little. That don't make me respect you in the locker room as a veteran. That don't make me want to come to you and feel like I can sit in the office with you and have a conversation like an adult. When you around here shee-sheeing and hoo-hooing and gossiping and spreading and doing the view talk as a head coach, man, that's lame, bro.
Okay.
That's sad.
Okay. Let me say this to you. First of all, you are right. You're not wrong. Okay. Sean Payton was not right to do it, but he wasn't lying. And so now what we have to ask ourselves is, what was it, just like you just said, if I'm Sean Payton, let me take into account what Ryan Clark just said about me if I'm Sean Payton. What I would say to Ryan Clark, privately, of course, if I'm Sean Payton is, I've been coaching in this league for decades. I was a head coach for 15 years. Did you ever hear me do that before? Why would I do it now? There's something to this because Sean Payton has never done that before, to my knowledge. And coaches don't usually do that.
Money,
so what?
Stephen A.
Listen, when you get a head coaching job, usually it's because the predecessor didn't get the job done. So you don't hear this happening. You don't see this. Why all of a sudden with a veteran connected to the tree that Sean Payton is connected to with Parcells and all of these folks? Why would he do that? See, that's where I'm coming from with it.
Ryan.
Because he's never done it before.
Ryan, let me get in here really quick. Hold on.
I agree.
Y'all are right.
Y'all are right.
Let me just say one thing. I never think you should be talking about other people. You all know that, et cetera. But Ryan, you don't think this was a message when he talks about parading people around and the pomp and circumstance and the PR? You don't think this was a shot he was talking to his team, talking to Russell Wilson? I thought it was more about
absolutely.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that is 100% what he's talking about, especially when he goes to the New York Jets and speaks about the fanfare that is now surrounding Aaron Rodgers. The fact that Robert Saleh said the man glows in the dark or whatever he said about him. But still, even with all of that, that's actually not your business. Like, it's not. Your business is to focus on your locker room. Your business is to talk about what you need to speak about to make that team better.
Question.
Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets ain't going to see the Denver Broncos until week 5. So that should be the first time he talks about them.
Question. Is it possible, just to get to two former football players in the NFL, is it possible that there's a bigger message being sent because of a concern with a cultural shift that a veteran coach like Sean Payton wants to bring into equation? In other words, all the pomp and circumstances, dudes on social media and all of this other stuff. Let's put a stop to it. And he's speaking on behalf of a culture that once existed to serve to uplift the NFL. And he's talking about what may serve to be the detriment of the NFL because of the direction the sport is going in with players and coaches and social media and all of that stuff. Is that possible?
Well, I would honestly
but that ain't
say,
changing, though.
No, that's not going anywhere. I would say.
I'm just asking, is it possible? That's what he was doing.
No, I think he was taking a shot at everyone he mentioned in that piece right there. That's what I honestly believe. Okay. But I don't think he needs to belittle himself or belittle other people. You got enough message you got to clean up in Denver as it is. I'm not worried about nobody else stuff and what they got going on. I'm focusing on my team and how to get Russell Wilson on the same page with me, because that's another thing. If Russell Wilson is not on the same page with Sean Payton, I can see Russell Wilson getting benched by Sean Payton this season in 2023.
So can
I'm not worried about what the Jets doing and this whole nine. I'm just not.
So can I? I totally agree with you, Harry.
So here's the biggest problem. And Harry, you have been in the locker room, and tell me if you agree with this or not.
Okay.
The best message you could send me is the one you send me behind closed doors. It's the message you send me when you stand in front of the room like you get to do every morning at 8 o'clock, and you tell me what needs to be done in here. And then the other message you send to me is when you walk out of that room, nobody else knows. When you walk out of that room, you are in full support of what's going on inside this building, because we in this building matter more than anything outside of it.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.